Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. MashaAllah. Hello, Twin Flames. Long time no see. I'm on the camera tonight because there's such good news I want to share with you. Okay, before I share the good news, I need to tell you this week before Friday. Tonight is Friday. Today I went to Juma to the prayer. And I want to say what happened in the previous week is there was a lot of purging with my manifested twin. My organic twin was seen, my mother has seen him cruise his expensive cars. As I talked in the previous videos, he's into materialistic world, into making his first million most likely right now, and she has seen some amazingly expensive cars cruising in front of my house 3 or 4 times this week. And I know he follows my, Allah knows best, but I'm quite sure he follows my social media, and I have posted some things over there, and he has been upset most likely with the news, and he's been just cruising down the street as usual. This is not the first time he does that, but he hasn't done it in a while. This is the week after I've seen his mother and father at the mosque. They didn't show up at the mosque, but last night his car was in the alley behind my house. I was there for like 5 minutes, and then it took off in a hurry. My manifested twin, as I said, we had some amazing purging this week. It was very hard. It was great after, because it just deepens and deepens our relationship, alhamdulillah. But we had some serious talks. Some things had to be worked through, and before the actual physical reunion happens. And one of the hardest things that I want to share with you right now is of a fear of being judged. But the purpose of Twin Flame Journey is to learn, for all of us, to learn, first of all, not to judge ourselves, and then not to judge others as well. Reason being is very simple. The source, Allah, God, is the one who is the only judge. He only has right to judge. And not now even. Even God himself has given us enough time and plenty of chances before we will be judged. I leave you open-minded. I leave you with open possibilities of you believing whatever you want to believe. I believe in Judgment Day. I believe in something called Judgment Day. I don't know how exactly, nobody knows how exactly this is going to happen. My manifested twin mentioned yesterday the word Maidan. In my language, in my native language, Maidan, it comes from Arabic, so it was adopted into my native language. But in my native language, the word Maidan means court, like a square, like a city square, like a place, like sort of like Madison Square, or what is called Trafalgar Square in London. One of those like city centers, like the square where everything like happens. In the Middle Ages, they were doing hangings in these places. They were doing kings crowning in these places. In my country, they would do duels, like in the Middle Ages. The knights would come. If they were quarreling over a lady, then they would do a duel in this part of the town, like in the city center called square, the city square, the town square, or the other word is the town court, like the medium, like a middle, the center of the city, of the town, of the place. And in my old language, in my native language, this word is Maidan. My manifested twin mentioned it. He said Imam, meaning priest, at the mosque was talking about Maidan in Judgment Day. as old, and so I understood there's going to be like this open field, open space, sort of like a court, like this square where the center where everybody will be gathered and everybody will be given their records. And scriptures from Bible to the Quran usually describe these records as like everybody's going to have their own book of the deeds. But how I perceive these records is like, today we record, okay, this video is recorded, we record voice on our camera, we record voice on our phones. Everything that ever was said or done, I believe, is recorded in the ether, in the universe. It's the magnetic force that records everything in the quantum, on the quantum level. That's how I see it. I don't think it's actually paper, like a notebook. I think it's recorded in the universe, because everything we ever do cannot completely disappear. It's recorded, and that makes sense. And I believe that everybody's going to be shown exactly what they've done, all the bad stuff that we hid from other people, we hid from ourselves, we even forgot that we did. That's why what I learned in Islam was, once I remember things that I've done, that I've wronged myself or wronged others, once I remembered, I felt awful. And that was in the beginning of my me practicing Islam, and I would be very scared, and I would be like, oh my, now I have to pray for forgiveness. Oh, this is terrible. I feel terrible now. But then I realized that I was happy when I realized my past mistakes, and I was lucky that I realized them, that I remembered them, and that I had a chance to say, I'm sorry, God forgive me, or even find a person that I wrong and apologize to them, or make it right for them. If I can't, if this person is no longer alive, or if this person is no longer in touch with me, then I ask the source to forgive me, to erase this bad karma for me. So, but in order to ask for forgiveness, you have to remember what you've done wrong. So I think it's a great blessing to come to the point where God reminds you, when he comes to you in dream or in your memory, and knocks and says, hey, remember when you did that? And it goes through your head, and you're like, oh my, that was wrong. I shouldn't have done that. I should apologize to that person. I should have not done it that way. I'm sorry. You say to the person, or I'm sorry, God, I will never do that again. That was wrong. So by being able to remember, by being reminded by the source of what you did, and then asking for forgiveness, this is a great blessing. I feel sorry for the people who never realize they've done wrong, who always do wrong and keep doing wrong, and they're not even aware it's wrong. They're so oblivious to the fact, and they may die in this state of not realizing their mistakes and having a bad karma. And if there is such thing, and I know some Muslims will not agree with me because they don't go into that sphere, into that topic, but I personally had experience, and I believe in old soul coming into a new body, reincarnation. And so if we do come back, then we bring that bad karma from the previous life. And if we don't come back, if you want to choose to believe that there's only one chance, one life in 3D, in dunya, then you will go be judged, then you will go into grave, and then get all that bad things that you've done. That karma will come back and hit you really hard, because there must be justice. I believe there must be justice for all the bad things ever done in this world, and also there must be rewards for all the good things that we've done, because there's so many good people out there in the world. There's so many good people and unselfish people that sacrifice their time and energy, volunteer, help the poor, help the others. There must be a reward for that. If there was not, then what would be purpose of life? What would be the point? There would be completely no sense in even living. So I believe in this final destination and final being of deeds, and whoever has more bad ones or good ones, and then it's up to God. So what I'm saying is, to learn not to judge others in this life is the biggest lesson of all. We Muslims sometimes judge other people. We are judgmental amongst each other. We look, as Jesus once said, into your brother's eyes and you see, wrong, and you should look into your own. Or, as I said to my friend tonight, some people should dust in front of their own door before they go look for dust in front of other people's door, or something like that. There were these proverbs that I heard in my old country that actually come from biblical source, from Bible, and Jesus would say things like that, like, don't judge others, like, fix your own life, fix your own issues, start from yourself, fix your family, start from your household, get the issues done. Or, as Gandhi said, be the change that you want in the world. Change yourself. You can't change others. Change yourself, others will follow. Others will follow. But judge others is completely wrong, and many do it. Many do it. Muslims do it, Christians do it. They're like very judgmental. Oh, that person is a sinner, or that person is doing. You never know. You may end up in their shoes one day. You may do the same thing or worse. So don't judge. You don't know. Leave that to God, because if you take that from God, that's God's right. You're taking God's right from God. That's really dangerous thing to do. God will not let you. God will punish you for judging other people. Be careful. So first thing that I learned in this journey was stop judging myself. Forgive myself many times now. I mean, I used to be too strict on myself, and then forgive others. But when I say too strict, doesn't mean that now I'm loose or that I do things that I shouldn't be doing. I'm just saying that if I have made mistakes in my life, I ask for forgiveness, but I also don't follow with, like, regret for the rest of my life, and kill myself with this memory of the bad things. Forgive yourself, ask God to forgive you, and move on and go on, and keep doing good stuff. And if you're busy with doing good things, you will not have time for the bad stuff to do. That, keep that in mind. That's something Prophet Muhammad said, sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Get yourself busy with doing good. Simply, you will not have time for stupid things that will hurt you or hurt others, or degrade someone. So, but I'm still afraid of your judgment. But you have no right to judge me. I leave it to God. So I will share what I did this week during the purging with my manifested twin. I'm a kind of person that, when I'm broken down into pieces, when I'm really low and I have nowhere to go, then I will do things that I have no courage to do on a regular day. Like stuff that I want to do, but I have no courage to pick up the phone or call someone or do something, because I'm afraid of being hurt. I mean, we're humans. We all have that. When we have no guts, we can't pull the trigger and do something that we want to do. We are afraid. Like I told you a week before, I looked up my organic twin that I haven't done in so long. I was purging, and then I was like, I'm already broken into pieces. I'm just gonna check out what's going on with him. And then I found out about his black market business and all bad stuff that he's doing now. And I was so relieved in a way, because now I know that my guidance is right, that I need to let him go. It's time to let him go. And again, as I say, he might come back in my life in 10, 20 years. He will. I know he will. I don't know how, but it will happen. But for now, I have to let him go. This is the only thing I can do for him. And I'm not giving up on him, but it's the reality of time, of this timeline. I have to let him go for now. He's not ready for reunion. I am. And reunion has to happen for the sake of reunion, not for the sake of me or him. Reunion has a higher mission for all of us. Reunion has to bring in the energy and spread the energy of love, unconditional love. So Source will take care of, if you're ready for reunion, Source will give you the option for union. So I checked on him, and now this week another purging happened, and I was low. I was so low. There's no other way to go. And then I did something that I guess in the back of my mind I wanted to do since I saw him in the mosque. I'm talking about sacral chakra guy. I contacted him on this Wednesday, 8 in the morning. I was crying. I was feeling disappointed. Everything turned out to be right after that, but I was feeling disappointed, and I decided not to reunite with him, not just to tell him that I was so proud of him to see him come in the mosque and keep his side of the promise that he will keep on his spirituality, he will renew his spirituality and stay on the right path. And I wanted to tell him how happy I was to see him, but I didn't have courage to call him. And his birthday was on the 15th of July. My birthday was on the 14th of July. And I wanted to call him and wish him happy birthday. You guys, you can see that in the video. I was mentioning that I want to give him a gift. I had a gift for him, but I just didn't have courage to call him. I thought he wouldn't pick up. And now, because I was hurting on Wednesday, I was like, I'm already hurting. What could be worse than this? So I'm just gonna do it right now. This is the kind of person I am. When I'm already hurting, like I can just, I mean, I'm hurting already. Why not add to this? So I called him, and guys, he picked up immediately at the first ring, as if he was waiting for me to call. My number on his caller ID, he picked up. His voice was, I know the voice when he's sleepy, was right. It was 8 in the morning. I know he usually wakes up at 9:45, and he picked up immediately. I felt like his eyes were still closed. His first, I said Salamu Alaikum, peace be upon you. It means peace be upon you. His first words were, he replied, and then he said, how are you? That was his, and this how are you meant so, it's so deep, it's much deeper than you guys think. It's much more intimate and raw and organic than you can even imagine. When he says, how are you? It means so much. It meant so much. And it felt as if not one day has passed since we parted. We decided to do different life paths. And I realized this unconditional love that I'm on this path of unconditional love, this thing really works. I still love this person the same. We don't hold a grudge. He doesn't hold a grudge against me. And we talked like old friends. We talked without any strings attached again, without any limitations. Just talked. He asked me how I was doing. I told him I'm engaged. That moment he hung up. 1 second later he calls me again. He's not talking about it anymore. He's not asking me, what did you just say? But instead he again asked me, yes, but how are you? And I said, Alhamdulillah, I'm good. And then I told him how proud I was of him for seeing him in the mosque. And then he didn't sound surprised. He didn't say, whoa, when? What do you mean? When did you see me in the mosque? He knew. Because I told you guys in that video, he smiled at me from downstairs. I was upstairs. I saw him. I saw him. I called him telepathically. He looked up, and then he gave me a big smile. So now when we were talking on the phone, he didn't say, when did you see me? He confirmed. He said, yeah, I'm coming now. And actually, he was being honest. He said, actually, this past few weeks, I can't come because of my school and my job, but I thank you. I'm trying to stay on like I promised you. And that's pure love, guys. That's pure love. When we are connected through the source, it doesn't matter what religion you are. It doesn't matter what spiritual path you take, even if you take 2 separate spiritual paths with someone you love. But when you call them to the source, when we are all connected through the source, because source is love. God is love. Allah is love. Only love is real. Everything else will die. Everything else will rot. Only love is forever. So I felt so great. But then again, I'm chicken. I'm just a big human being. And after I talked to him, I turned off my phone. It was my old phone. It's right here now. It's charging. It's my old phone. I'm charging it through my laptop right now. I called him from my old phone because I still have his number in my old phone. And I was surprised. I was really surprised in a great way that he picked up immediately and he talked to me. Oh, and then I told him that I had a gift for him for his birthday, and he said, um, "What was it? What what did you get me?" And I laughed and I said, "It would you would love it. It would make you laugh." And then he said, "What are you doing today? What time do you go to work?" And I said, 4:30 p.m. It was, as I said, 8 in the morning when this conversation took place. And he said, "Can I see you before that? Can you bring me my gift? I want to see the gift." I know he wanted to meet. And I said, "No, not today. I can't." And then he again put the wall up and he said, "Okay, okay, you know I'm not into gifts. It's okay. I mean, you don't have to." And then he protected himself, protected me from any further, messing things, because I'm loyal. I'm loyal to my new path, to the chosen path. And I told him, "You were right. You were right. You gave me the right direction to the right person." And he didn't comment on it. I knew that his silence was his approval. And we said salam to each other, peace, and it was wonderful. It was wonderful, but I was afraid that he might have called me after that, and I haven't checked my phone since then. And I want to do it with you guys because I'm afraid to look, because I have more news for you. So let's look. Let's look at my phone. I hope it's charged by now. Let's see if he texted me, if he did or if he didn't. Let's see. Let's find out. My phone is 21% now, so I'm gonna start it now, and we're gonna check again together if my sacral chakra guy has texted me or called me after we talked. It's up to universe. I am just gonna wait and we're gonna see together what happens. And more news to tell you. I want to share with you. Do you guys want to wait for this to see first the phone call, or what should we do first? It's coming up. It's coming up any minute now. And I have more news. I have more news. Okay, I'm going to talk about my news right now while the phone is getting started. The thing is, I asked Allah, I asked the source to tell me. Yeah, I'm looking in the phone there. I'm curious. I asked the source to tell me if it's the right thing to move to Bangladesh, to actually make this step. I'm super scared. People are scaring me. People tell me, "How do you know? Who is this person?" They're scaring me. Other people, I think I believe those who are more spiritual and related to God, to the source, to Allah, are supporting me. And they're asking me about him and how he's doing and when I'm going to go. Those that I think are not very close to the source and to Allah are telling me, are scaring me, telling me like it's a strange country, this person you don't know personally. I'm like, that's why I'm going, because it's nobody's fault that we are where we are. It's meant to be that way. It's a challenge, it's a test, but they have put some fear into me. So I asked Allah, I asked Source yesterday to give me, and may Allah forgive me for sharing this with you, to give me a sign. I sent my renewal for my passport only last Friday, and I asked, and it takes up to 6. I sent it the slow way because it's cheaper, and I was told that it takes up to 6 weeks to get the passport. And I asked God, because today is our 4th month anniversary of our engagement, and I asked God to give me my passport today. If this is meant to be, and if I'm supposed to move, then to get my passport today, which is impossible because I just sent it a week ago, application for renewal. And then I know with God all things are possible. If God wants to give me a sign, then it should arrive today. And it did. It arrived. I have it right here in front of me, but I want to check first if Sacral Chakra guy has contacted me. Let's find out. One of my friends, she sent me email. She's our twin flame community. She's a twin flame. Much love to you, Zonera. I love you so much. I'm sorry I'm mentioning your name, but I want you to be famous, I guess. I love you, girl. And I'm checking. I'm so happy that I'm getting your email right now. So let's see. Let's see anything from the Sacral Chakra guy. I'm just so curious. I think he will, because in the past I would always feel before he would text me. And okay, it says Texas. That's his phone number. Ooh, I think I accidentally just called him right now. That's bad. I have to turn this thing off. He didn't text me. I know he will eventually. I'm so scared right now. I mean, yeah, he hasn't called, he hasn't texted after we talked, but it's been just a few days. And in the past, when we were seeing each other, it would take him 10 to 15 days to get back on the track and call me again. He needs time to get his courage together. I know him so well. Right now, I just called him accidentally, but I hung up immediately. Okay, so enough of that. That means Sacral Chakra guy, we made a really nice closure finally. Like, I know if he said, let's meet today, can I see my gift? If I said yes, I could have been again with him, but that is done. That is done. And as I said, I thought you would judge me because I am in my pad right now, but I just wanted to know. Okay, guys, I opened it. Sorry, I didn't pick up the envelope. I opened it. This is my passport, guys. I'm so excited. Oh my god. Oh my god. Look at this, guys. My passport is here. 19th. And oh my god. Guys, I don't know what to say. My passport is here. Guys, this is amazing. And I like this photo. It's overexposed. I like that because I'm not happy with the way I look right now. My under eyes and all this. I'm not happy. I'm glad because I was embarrassed to show this photo. It looks fine now. I like it. I had to sign statement for all of you hijabis out there who wear a scarf. Before you send for your photos, because it returned once, they said my photos were not right. It was right. It went on without any statement by me. So I made statement and I resend the photos saying I'm a Muslim and this is my religious duty to wear a headscarf. So then that's what they told me at the office, that I should have done that, put a note with my photos. So if you're hijabis, if you wear a scarf, please, when you apply for your passport or renewal of your passport, if you haven't been hijabi like I wasn't in the past, if you're convert to Islam, then your previous photo, your previous passport you don't have hijab on. Now you want to have one on, then please put the note, put the statement, written statement with your passport, with your old passport and with your new photos, that this is your religious garment, that you wear hijab for religious purposes, and then your application will go through. My passport is here, guys. I don't know what else to say. I think universe is supporting this reunion. God bless you all. And for all of you who were wondering how my dog is, she's doing great. Alhamdulillah. I think prayers, your prayers, my dua, and those subliminal messages that I put in the video below, subliminal messages to have a healthy dog or healthy animals, healthy pets, it worked. Everything all together worked. So she's okay now. She's doing better. We didn't go to vet or anything. She just recovered on her own. I love you guys. I don't know what else to say. You guys, if you follow my videos, if you haven't watched from the beginning and see how my journey went, I will stay with you until I reunite with until my reunion. I want to show you reunion, and then I guess maybe then I will start making videos on different topic. Maybe just something about Islam. We'll see what happens. Nobody knows what happens next. Only God knows future. But I told you, I follow my truth and I follow God, and so far, so good. With always ups and downs, of course, and some hard days and some good days. So just stay on your track, stay in your truth, and follow the guidance, listen to the guidance. And I have one more thing to say before. Yesterday, I had this urge to go to a local park with my dogs, and I just told my mom, let's just go right now, and we went. And the moment I stepped out of my car, someone wrote on the sidewalk. And by the way, I'm an Indigo child. I mentioned that before. Indigo children are people with special sensitive heart. We can feel other people's emotions. We cannot read a mind, although that's possible too sometimes. Depends who you have telepathic connection with. But being indigo means feeling what other people are feeling. You can be an empath from the birth. It's not a choice. It's not a matter of choice. It's a matter of, like, some people are born with blonde hair, some people are born with blue eyes. Being indigo is not a choice. It's how you are born. It's a gift. It's a heavy gift. I've learned to live with it. So I'm an indigo child. And what I found written on the street when I walked out of my car into this park was someone signed his name and then said, and then / indigo child. But the message was a saying of Rumi, which was a Sufi mystic, Muslim, a poet, and his saying was, silence is the language of God. All else is just a poor translation. I leave you with that thought. Silence is the language of God. All else is just pure translation. So listen to the quiet voice of God. The silence hides a lot of answers for you, you know. And sometimes one Sufi song from Bosnia, which is a Muslim nasheed, Muslim spiritual song, says, you may think it's quiet up there, but it's just because you are deaf. That's why you only hear silence, because you're deaf to hear the true word of God.